Get that ball.
Stop. Stop. Give me that ball.
He dropped it.
Stop.
He did.
Listen. He loves skating.
Hello, and welcome to the Lone Larch podcast. Today is May 29th. I've already forgotten my notes. And it is, yes, it's May 29th. This is episode number 34. My name is Jenny. You can find me on Etsy and Instagram as lonelarchdesigns, and you can find me on Ravelry as jentastk. Today we are in my backyard, and it's windy, and there's lots of traffic. And there's bumblebees all around me because of the apple tree that's right there. And the neighbors are playing in their yard next door. So it might be super loud. I'm just going to give this a go and see how we do. So, hi Bumble. Welcome! Okay, so what have I been doing? I have been doing things. I've been doing lots of yard work because it is now summer. And I can't cut the grass fast enough to keep it tidy. But yeah, you can see all the dandelions over there. They're all... Actually, you can. It looks okay over there. Just don't look at the rest of the yard. I don't care about dandelions. I just try and cut it before they go to seed and then spread more. But whatever. I've been trimming all the edges of my bed and remulching and weeding and watching the Saskatoon bloom and the apple bloom, and the lilacs are now in bloom. Yes, you can see them right over my head. We have lilacs back there, and there's also a lilac hedge at the back along the alley, and it's beautiful and glorious, but there's about a 2-week window right now that Jared can't come in the backyard because he is allergic to lilacs. Or we think he is, because he comes back here and his allergies just go insane while they're in bloom. So he stays away from the backyard. I went hiking with Amy and some of her friends, and we had a great time. We think that we got lost. We tried to go to Prairie Mountain, but we think we took the wrong trail because we ended up going on like a loop that went along a creek and did not end up at the top of a mountain. So, but we had a lovely time anyway walking through the forest. So that was good. That was in Kananaskis country, just west of Bragg Creek, which is west of Calgary. And what else have I been doing? Yard work. We went to Kirby's wedding this past weekend, which is a good friend of ours. They got married down in Waterton, which is down by where my parents live. So I got to see my parents and my sister and my brother-in-law and my cousins, Emmy's cousins, my nieces and nephews. It was very busy. We were running the entire time, helping set up for the reception and the ceremony, and Emmy was the flower girl, and just trying to keep her excitement under control was a little bit comical at times. She did a fantastic job. She didn't actually have to throw flowers or anything like that. She got to lead one of Joss and Kirby's dogs down the aisle. Joss does dog training, or I don't know if it's called dog training. She does agility testing, and she actually competes doing it. So the dogs are very much a huge part of their life. So the dogs had to walk down the aisle too, of course. And so Emmy got little Ruby, and another friend of theirs, Xavier, he got to take Zumba down the aisle, and it was very cool. It was very cute. She loved it. She just ate it up, you know, and we had a great time. It was a beautiful weekend. It was a little bit windy, but it was just windy enough to keep the minus 24. It was not minus 24. It was plus 24. To keep the plus 24 sun at bay. We all got horribly burnt anyway. The back of my neck is very toasty, and you can see a little bit of my chest is red. I got away pretty good. There were some ladies that had very deep necks and on their dresses, and no sunscreen, zero sunscreen. Didn't even cross our minds because the wind was coming through and it was just the perfect temperature. Just red. Red, red, red. So that was a little comical, but it was a fantastic weekend to hang out with those good friends of ours, and Jared's brother Mark and his girlfriend were there as well because they, Marky and Kirby, went to school together. So it was awesome to have him there too. And we just got to hang out in Waterton, which was rad. Waterton is an amazing place. It's right in the mountains in southwestern Alberta. Very, very close to the mountains. It actually, Waterton Lakes National Park actually borders on Glacier National Park, I think, in the States. I mean, you walk into the bush, I don't know, half an hour and you're in the States kind of thing. It's right on the border. But the town is so small that it's just glorious. It's definitely touristy because it's a mountain town and that's what their industry is, but it's so small still that it's just fantastic. I mean, the hall that the wedding was at was a block, not even like half a block from our hotel, and half a block from where Joss was staying, where that bridal party was staying. And we walked across the street to get bagels and coffee yesterday morning and wandered down to the lake, which was 2 blocks away. Like, everything is just right close and very not commercialized. I think Subway is the only chain restaurant I think that's there. Everything else is like family owned and operated, and it's just a lovely place. Yeah, so that was a really fun weekend. That's about it for shenanigans. I'm going to do a tiny little For the Love of Trees today. I don't have any footage to share with you, but somebody asked okay, first of all, I've been getting a few questions in the Ask Jenny Anything thread about specific trees that people have in their backyard. I cannot give you tree advice from hundreds or even thousands of miles away without actually seeing trees and the situation that they're in, the environment that they live in. So while I appreciate that you trust me to ask me my advice, it's impossible for me to give you accurate advice unless I'm actually there. So there were a couple questions about that, but I can't answer them unless I am there. Even through pictures is very difficult. So yeah, I'm not going to answer those questions, but somebody did ask me from the last episode, from all of that tree work footage, they asked me if I wear earmuffs or hearing protection when I'm using a chainsaw. Yes, the answer is definitely yes to that. We wear a lot of personal protective equipment, which is called PPE in industry terms. So I brought my helmet and I brought my saw pants and some gloves and stuff to show you what I wear. So on my legs, when I'm using chainsaws, when I'm not using chainsaws, I change into just outdoor pants because chainsaw pants are very hot because of all the layers that are in them to protect me from the chain. But when we are using chainsaws or we are about to use chainsaws, I wear chainsaw pants. I'm going to try not to hurt the hostas that are growing there. I think there's an ant that just walked down my pants, so I'm going to try and deal with him and him. Okay, so these are my chainsaw pants. And they're made by a company named Fanner, which is a European company. Can you see that? Yes. And I mean, there's lots of companies that make chainsaw pants, but these are the ones that I have because I like the way that they are made. So the chainsaw protection runs all the way down from the waist, all the way down the legs. This is not the chainsaw protection. This is just an extra layer that's over top to deal with abrasion and stuff when you're kneeling down a lot and when you're carrying wood and holding the chainsaw against your legs. It's just extra protection so that the pants don't wear out as fast. So the chainsaw protection goes all the way from the waist right down to the cuff of the pants. And if you look inside, you can see it. And what it is, it's a material that is just very loosely woven. You're not going to really be able to see it because, I mean, it's in there contained, but it's a very loosely woven material so that of really, really long strands of a material. So if your chain comes down and hits your saw pants, it'll cut this material like it's not even there. But once it gets into that, the threaded material, they come out just as pieces, and it will actually catch up the chain. It'll get in all of the mechanisms inside the chain and inside the unit of the chainsaw, and it'll stop the chain. So that is how chainsaw pants work. Hope that was understandable. Oh, what did that just do? I just learned that on the GoPro, it doesn't actually record the entire time that I'm recording as one piece. It takes 10-minute chunks, and it really freaked me out the first time I used the GoPro because I thought, oh my god, I've just lost all of the second half of my podcast. Not true. It's just, it takes it in snippets. So that's what just happened, and that's what I'm freaking out about. So yeah, chain hits the chainsaw pants, it catches all those threads, and it stops the chain from moving hopefully before it hits your leg. The back of the pants, some saw pants, the chainsaw protection goes all the way around the back, but on these ones, there's a panel. I think it goes down one bum, yeah. Let's see if you can see it. Backwards on this side, there's a panel that runs down here, and then down the side of the pants, underneath the pocket, and then carries on into the front. But the rest of the material is really, really thin. I think it's called, I can't remember what it's called, Sholar or something like that. It's a fabric that they use a lot for like outdoor gear and stuff, outdoor jackets. So it's a water repellent, really breathable, really stretchable fabric so that you don't die of heat exhaustion when you're wearing your saw pants, because that is a real thing. It's like wearing snow pants in the middle of summer. It can be really, really hot. So you really have to watch for heat stroke and stuff when you're wearing saw pants, because you sweat like crazy. These, however, these are unisex pants, but it's very exciting because there's a couple companies that are starting to make women-specific chainsaw pants, which is such a big deal because, as we all know, women are shaped a little bit differently than men are. I love Redneck Alberta. So it's very exciting. Amy actually just got a pair sent to her that's from Still. Still is starting a new women's line of chainsaw pants with wider hips, wider thigh area, tighter knees, and tighter shins, so that they actually fit women's body shapes. What else was there? Lower waist, so the crotch, because on guys' pants, you know, the crotch is like 15 feet long, it feels like. But these ones are more of they're not low rise, but they're just shaped better for our hips. So anyway, Still just sent her a pair of those to test out and then send back, and they're going to check it for wear points and just get her to fill out an entire survey to explain what she likes and what she doesn't like. So that is very exciting, and if Still gets them figured out and dialed, I will definitely be purchasing a pair of those, because when you're wearing them all day and when they're uncomfortable and hot to begin with, you want them to be fitting perfectly. So that's what I wear on my legs. For my feet, I do not wear steel toes or chainsaw protection boots. You can get those types of things, but I don't wear them because I was taught that if you are using a chainsaw properly and using the right techniques, the safe techniques, the chainsaw shouldn't be anywhere near your feet anyway. So I wear hiking boots that have a steel shank in the bottom and have really good ankle support for walking around all day, and especially for climbing, good grip, and the ankle support so that it's just easier on your body. That's what I wear on my feet. Up top, I usually wear just a t-shirt, suspenders from my saw pants over top, and then a long sleeve just if we're in spruce and stuff like that, because it'll rip your arms up pretty good. You can get chainsaw protection for your arms, like these sleeves you can get, or jackets. But once again, if you're using proper safe chainsaw techniques, the chain shouldn't be anywhere near your arms. And for kickback reasons, same thing. If you're using it properly, if you're using those safe techniques that were drilled and drilled and drilled into our heads at school, it's not even an issue. So when I am working, I usually wear contacts. There it is. There's the Jenny fixes her hair moment. I told myself I wasn't going to do it, but whatever. What was I going to say? I usually wear contacts when I'm at work. And then sunglasses or safety glasses. And sorry, I keep looking down. I'm looking at my phone, which is showing what you guys see. So I'm trying to make sure that I'm showing you the right things. Yeah, so I usually wear safety glasses or my shield. They're interchangeable. I mean, that's a big debate in the world of tree work, but I think that they're interchangeable, either a shield or safety glasses. If it's pouring rain, I usually wear my glasses because sunglasses fog up or safety glasses fog up, and it's easier to deal with. It can actually see. And that's when the safety issues can actually hinder you instead of help you with safety things. If you're fogging up ridiculously and you can't see what you're doing, obviously it's unsafe. So to keep those safety glasses on, it's not a thing. So on my head, I wear my helmet. And it looks totally ridiculous on my tiny little pin head, but I always have my chin strap on because it's more comfortable. And when you're climbing, you need your chin strap on because you're sometimes inverted or sideways or whatever, and I mean, it's not going to fall off because it's tightened around your head, but there's two little dials right here that pull the, I don't know what it's called, the harness, the head harness in and keep it nice and snug on your head. So I roll those tight, and then there's the earmuffs. Anytime a saw is running, idling, or being held in someone's hands, muffs are on. And they fit really, really snugly around my head. I actually need new inserts. You can take the inside of these. There you go. There's a pad in here, and then this part as well. And they just get worn out. So every couple of, usually once a year, I get a new, whatever it's called. I think it's called a hygiene kit or something, and all these pop off and you get a new one. So that's on if a chainsaw is in your hand and is about to be started, or anyone on site is using a chainsaw, because they're loud and they can definitely damage your hearing. So I actually walk around with my muffs on a lot because I don't like talking to people, which is kind of comical considering what I'm doing right now. But if there's a lot of public around, that it's frustrating to try and stay focused and actually get work done when there's lots of public around, because they'll stop and ask. So I keep my muffs on quite a bit, just so that people leave me alone, which is totally antisocial, but whatever. And then the screen. This is the screen, and it is a screen. Simple as that. Whenever I'm cutting, I'll take those off so I'm not yelling at you, sorry. Whenever I'm cutting, this is down, or if I'm trying to climb up a really dirty spruce, a dirty tree or whatever, this is down. And then that's where the GoPro goes. So that is, when I'm carrying you guys around at work, that is where you're sitting, right on the top of my head and seeing all that I can see. So that's my helmet, and it is the most important part of my kit, I think. We also wear them if there's any aerial work going on. So if anyone is up a tree, or if we're pole sawing and anything could be coming out of the tree, we have these on just in case. So that's my helmet. I have made this helmet my own. I made my own little sweat strap right there because they normally have like this plasticky bit on there, and it gets really uncomfortable when you're all sweaty and gross. It sticks to your forehead and it feels disgusting. So I have a Petzl one. They're very similar to like mountaineering helmets and stuff, and I like it, and that's that. So, and then on my hands I usually wear gloves. I wear very thin ones because of the heat situation. I wear very thin ones, and then they have like a plastic coating on the palm. There's some spruce sap. Just for extra grip. I actually prefer climbing with, if it's a spruce, I always have gloves on because they're disgusting and dirty. But if it's any other kind of tree, I actually prefer climbing without gloves on because I can feel the tree more. So that's that. If you have any questions, feel free to ask about the PPE. Those are my beautiful trembling aspens. I hope that sound isn't too annoying. Should we talk about some knitting? Where'd my notes go? What should I talk about first? I got something in the mail the day, I think it was actually the afternoon that I recorded last time. I got some yarn in the mail from Amber, the yarn hoarder. This made me smile so much. First of all, she's way too fancy to send me yarn or be thinking about me when she's at a yarn festival and she sees yarn and wants to buy it and then send it to me. I felt so fancy. And I mean, not just that it was from Amber because she's awesome, but because people are thinking of me all the time. Not all. That sounded terrible. You know what I mean. People are thinking of me when they're looking at yarn. People are, I mean, we're all part of each other's lives so much that we don't even realize it. And that just makes me smile so much. So this is what she sent me. It's some yarn. Trying to find the nice spot so you can see the colors well. There you go. It is the most earthy greens, all different tones. It is Yarn Geek Fibers, Super Geek. And she names all of her yarns after amazing sciencey ladies. This one is Winifred Brenchley. She's an agricultural botanist. She studied plant nutrition and ecology of weeds. So Amber saw this and she thought of me. Weird. We had this whole conversation about how trees are plants, and are trees plants? Yes, trees are plants. Trees are plants. They're just big ones. So yeah, that makes me smile so much. It's a superwash 3-ply fingering, 75% Corriedale, 25% nylon. I've never knit with Corriedale before, so I'm pretty pumped about that. So thanks, Amber. Well, you know, we had a whole conversation on the IG, and you know how much I appreciate that. So thank you. The other thing that I got and that I forgot to tell you guys about last time, because I'm really smart sometimes and forget. Okay, Wendy, you should just wait for like 15 more minutes. Okay, thanks. Is I ordered the April mystery colorway from Lara of Fawn and the Fox, and when it came I nearly started crying because I don't know, maybe this is obnoxious of me, but I kind of think that she had me in mind when she dyed it. This is the yarn and it is called Tree Climber, and that makes me feel pretty special. I'll put some pictures up of it skeined up. Actually, last episode, when I was showing that yarn in the very beginning, and I was twisting it to show all the different colors, that's this skein of yarn. But I have since caked it up, and needles are waiting patiently. I'm just waiting to finish a couple other things, and then I'm going to start something new, which I'll tell you about in a minute. So, there's that. those are the two things that I got in the mail, other than one of the prizes for the cowl, which I'll show you in a minute. But first I wanted to show you what I'm working on. Maybe I should, no, I'll show you my FOs first. Okay, so I have a few, which is pretty cool. This is my Alias cardigan by Isabel Kramer. I have worn it since I finished it. I think there's been, when did I finish it? A week and a half ago? Out of that week and a half, I think there's been like 3 days where I haven't at least worn it for some part of the day. So I truly am going to wear this thing every day. It fits me absolutely perfectly. I have gotten so many compliments on it already. I love it. I thought it would be way too scratchy, and it's fine. I was wearing it with a tank top the other day underneath it, and it's totally tolerable. The only thing that I can't handle right now is the back of my neck, because it's totally sunburnt, and it irritates it because it is definitely not a soft yarn. It's made out of Briggs & Little Heritage. Oh, there's ants, pardon me, everywhere. It's made out of Briggs & Little Heritage, which is a worsted weight. It has a tissue in the pocket. Nice. And I adore it. It sits on my hips perfect, and I just love it. I ended up making the sleeves, I think I did an inch longer than what the pattern said, because I have gorilla arms apparently. I don't really have gorilla arms, I just hate fussing with my sleeves all the time, so I like them a little bit longer so I'm not constantly tugging. So yeah, I absolutely adore the detail on this thing. It's just enough detail, and just enough, I don't know, what's everybody calling it? It's a classic sweater. It's just, I'm going to be able to wear it forever. So I obviously just stuck with the Briggs & Little for the inside of the collar. There was actually a pretty good even mix of who thought I should do this, just the gray, and then who thought I should do the color that I was showing in the last episode. But I felt that I would wear it more and be able to wear it longer and classically, I don't know if that's the right word, if it was just all gray, and then I wouldn't worry if it was matching or not matching or whatever. So that's what I decided to do, and I'm very happy that I did decide to do that. So that's my Alias cardigan by Isabel Kramer, and I love it, and I may make more. We'll see. What else did I finish? I finished Emmy's Twilight Sparkle Mittens, made out of sea turtle fiber arts. There's ants everywhere. There's a large ant colony that lives in our backyard. Those are done, and she wore them. She has worn them once. It is now full on summer, so she's probably not going to wear them again until the fall, but whatever. This is the yarn that I use, Sea Turtle Fiber Arts, in the Ridley sock, which is an 80/20, in the colorway Troublemaker. Redneck Alberta. I love it. So I'll show you this at the same time. This is what else I'm using this yarn for Emmy. I love that sound, but I just hope it isn't too loud. So I'm making Emmy a little cowl, because I made one for Kathy, my mother-in-law, a couple months ago, and Emmy really liked it, and she's been bugging me to make her one. So I pretty much just made a tube. I cast on 144 stitches, I think. That might be a lie. I think I did 140, actually. 140 stitches, and then I just did a 2x2 rib for a little while, like an inch or something. And then I just knit forever. I went round and round and round. And I have been really enjoying this, because after making this sweater and the fireside, what's it called? Fireside Pullover by Jane Richmond, it was a lot of thinking, and it was totally a product knit, both of these things. And I wanted something to just enjoy these yarns and just knit and not have to think about anything. So this has been lovely for that. So I already started the ribbing, and I think I'm going to do about 4 more rows and then bind off, and that'll be that. I love this yarn so much. Look at it. Just look at it. Isn't it great? So that's that. I was trying to use up all the yarn, this whole skein, but this thing's going to be like 14 feet long if I keep going. So I'll just throw that in with the rest of my yarn scraps, and that'll be that. So that's Emmy's little cowly thing. Twilight Sparkle Mittens. The other FO that I have has the cutest, tiniest pom-pom on it. Is that not the cutest, tiniest pom-pom you've ever seen? Cutest, tiniest pom-pom. This is another one that I cast on because I just needed to not think, and I wanted to just knit in circles forever. This is the sockhead hat, essentially. I just cast on 144 stitches, which is the stitch count that she uses on that pattern. And then I just, what did I do? 2x2 rib for 2 inches, I think, maybe a little bit more. And then there's a little detail that I put on it. Where's the front? There it is. Little detail that I put on it. So right after I did the ribbing, I switched the ribbing. I just put the pearls on top of the knits and the knits on top of the pearls for 2 rows. And then I just made this kind of goofy little mountain of not seed stitch. Is it double seed stitch? I'm not sure. Moss stitch. To make that fun little detail. And the wind is here. And then I just knit forever. So I really like it. I've already worn it a few times. Because it didn't really get warm until like a week ago maybe. It's the tiniest pom-pom on the top, because why not really? Life's too short not to have pom-poms. The yarn that I used is Wild and Happy Color, hand-dyed yarns, and it says her information on there. She's on Etsy, right? Etsy.com, yeah. That's her, and there's still a coupon code that she shared with us last time. This coupon code is THANK-YOU10. It's right there. THANK-YOU10. So you can use that in her shop to get 10% off your order if you would like. She has awesome colors. I've been talking to her a little bit about her yarn and how much I love it, and she's been extremely lovely to talk to. So check her out. So this is a perfect segue. This is the rest of it in the skein. I love how even this color is. This is like camo for my backyard. Can't even see my head anymore. Is it gone? Pretty much. Poof. Yeah, so the color in it, I love how even it is, because when I started knitting it, or when I caked it up really, I thought, how, like, this is going to be all pooly, and I just didn't know how it was going to knit up, but I absolutely love how evenly dispersed the color is. Isn't it great? I really, really like this yarn. I've been really enjoying like having these little tasters of all these different yarns that I've just pulled out of my stash and decided to use. Oh, this is the card for this yarn, just so that you know exactly what it is. Authentic Base 80/20, and the colorway is Earth Day. So that's that. I'm just making sure I haven't forgotten anything. Oh, this is Lara's for this tree climber yarn. The tag is Fawn and the Fox Yarns, and she is on Etsy as the Fawn and the Fox yarns. This is her Badger colorway. No, Badger base. Colorway is Tree Climber. And what is it? BFL? Yeah, 75 superwash BFL and 25% nylon. She was so funny when she told me that this was done. She sent me a text and she said, "Jenny, it's done, but can I just give it to you and then you can open it when I'm not there? And then I can just run away, so in case you don't like it, I don't have to see your reaction." I was like, what are you talking about? Of course I'm going to love it. Like, don't be silly. So I thought I was going to be home, but it worked out. What happened? I was at work that day, I thought she was going to drop it off. And then when I got home from work, Jared and Emmy were home, but she still hadn't dropped it off. So I hopped in the shower, and just as I got in the shower, I heard the doorbell ring, or the door, I think she knocked, but the doorbell rang, and it was her. And so Emmy took it from her, and she had the opportunity to run away, and she didn't have to see me open it, which is probably good because I kind of got all teary and ridiculous, and then sent her shouty cap texts saying how amazing it is, and of course I love it, and don't be silly, you talented woman. So that's her yarn again. You're so awesome. There's 1,000 ants all over my legs. Okay, so Wild and Happy Color. This is what we're going to talk about next. Is the Isabel Kramer knit along. Is going to be finished on May the 31st, which is in 2 days. Yep, 2 days. So on June 1st, I will draw a name to find the winner from the finished objects that have been posted in the thread on the Ravelry group, which is the Lone Larch podcast Ravelry group. And the prize will be... Oh, this is totally the wrong page. Well, I was really confused for a minute there. The prizes will be this skein of yarn from Wild and Happy Color in the mica colorway. Oh, forget it. I'm just taking it out of the packaging so you can actually see it. Drives me crazy. I'd rather actually see the yarn than the glare. So this is her mica colorway, and it's the same base as this one. Authentic base, which is an 80-20 merino, 400 yards. And so that's the yarn that's going to be in the prize. Thank you so much for donating that. Love it. That's the yarn. There's also a stitch marker and one of the little light bulb pins in there. And then I got, sorry, crinkle, 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 right in the mic. I also got this in the mail from Renee. This makes me so happy. I love the way she packages everything. Renee is Lowland Originals, and she is in the Netherlands. And she's fantastic. By the way, Renee, Emmy really liked the stickers. She had a great time with the stickers. This is Renee's information. And she does lots of different kinds of bags, but these are what she's mostly doing right now, it seems like. I'm just stopping things from blowing away. She sent me one of her patchwork Amsterdam bags. It's a drawstring, obviously, and the colors on it are fantastic. And check this out, they totally match. I have no idea where the camera is. It totally matches the bag, so that's fantastic. And then the inside is dandelions. Can you see that? Dandelions. So that's going to be the prize. I will post it on Instagram, whoever wins. I hope everyone has enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed this pattern. Knitting this, everything about it was fantastic. I am going to look really quick and make sure that I haven't forgotten anything because the battery is flashing at me. Bags are in the shop, and I'm actually doing a Birch pre-order right now. If you've seen the Birch bag, if you haven't seen the Birch bag, go check out my Instagram. I'm doing a pre-order for those right now. So if you're interested in one of those Birch bags, go to my shop and let me know somehow. Either purchase it or let me know that you want one. Okay, so there's something else that I've been working on, and it is a sock pattern that I have made from my brain, and I will be releasing it into the world hopefully shortly. This is it. These are called the Approach socks. And it's just a cable, 2 little cables that run down the front of the sock, and then it's a heel, flap, and gusset heel, and then the pattern continues down the front of the sock and then into the toe. I have come up with a different toe that I'm going to use instead of what's on here, so don't look at the toe. But this is it, and I'm really happy with the way that it finally came to me. And it's funny because I was trying so hard to come up with this pattern that kind of had been floating around, and it wasn't working, and I couldn't make it work in my head. And then I just cast these socks on actually as vanilla socks, and then I thought, okay, well, let's just see where this goes. And it worked. So this is what runs along the front of the sock, and then down the instep, and then into the toe. And I'm going to change from here down, so don't look at that. But if you're comfortable with cables, that's really all you need to know. Even if you're not comfortable with cables, honestly, it's so simple that if you can read a pattern, you'll be fine. There will be written instructions as well as charted if all goes as planned. So yeah, if you are interested in test knitting these socks for me, let me know. Please send me an Instagram message with your email, and then I will contact everybody that way when I'm ready to send it to you. I'm hoping to have it within about a week, so like the 5th or 6th of June, I'm hoping to have it emailed out, and then we will go from there. So it's obviously fingering weight yarn. I have used 2.25s needles, but something that I will say is that whatever your normal stitch count is, I would suggest going up a stitch count. So I usually do 64 stitches. These are 64s. This is 64 stitch count to start with, but with the cable, it takes away a lot of that extra give. So they're too tight for me. So I'm gonna start them again and do the next size up. So I think the sizes that I'm going to have are 64 stitch count, 68 stitch count, and 72 stitch count. So if those sound ridiculously high, don't freak out. It's because the cable eats up a lot of the give. So those are the approach socks. Now, shall I tell you the story about the approach socks? 2 or 3 years ago, I think, I went into MEC, Mountain Equipment Co-op, which is an outdoor store up here in Canada, to get some new kicks, some new sneakers, essentially. And I research a lot online beforehand to find the ones that I want, and then I pretty much just go into the shop in Calgary or Edmonton or wherever and try them on to make sure they fit properly. So I had these ones picked out, and I walked into the store and said, okay, I'd like these in a size 7. And he said, okay. And he was kind of hesitant about it, and I thought, well, what's the big deal, right? Why doesn't he want to get me these shoes? So he came out with the shoes. I put them on, and I'm walking around the store, and he kind of pulls me to the side, and he says, you do realize those are approach shoes, right? And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, they're not just casual runners. They're only to be used if you're like approaching the crag, like rock climbing crag, right? I'm like, okay, so what you're telling me is that I'm only allowed to wear these, so I have to wear my hiking boots to hike up the mountain to the rock crag, and then I have to put these on when I get like, within like 2 or 3 kilometers when I'm approaching it. And then once I start rock climbing, I have to put on my rock climbing shoes. I'm not allowed to wear these shoes anytime other than when I'm approaching. And he said, yeah, that's what they're made for. And I could not stop laughing inside. I tried to keep it to myself. So of course I came home and I told Jared this story. And so this has been the running joke in our house for a long time, is that I only wear approach shoes because I'm approaching things at all times. I'm never actually doing these activities. I'm just approaching them in my approach shoes. So you're only allowed to wear these socks if you're approaching anything. But you can be approaching anything you want. It doesn't have to be the rock crag. You can just be approaching the back door, or approaching your car, or approaching your bike, or approaching the grocery store, but you're only allowed to wear them if you're approaching something. So that's the approach sock story. Ridiculous. And yet so funny, and has entertained us for many, many years. So if you want to test knit, send me an Instagram message with your email and we will talk. Approach shoes, approach socks, ants all over my legs. The last thing I'm going to show you is another kind of hilarious thing. So a couple of weeks ago, maybe like 4 days before Mother's Day, I had a huge fit of rage when I was trying to use my ball winder, and my old ball winder was really, really frustrating. It kept slipping and it would just make like a pile of yarn on top of the cake of yarn instead of like wrapping it like it's supposed to. So in a massive fit of rage and total frustration, I threw my ball winder across the room, went onto Amazon and found myself a new ball winder and promptly ordered it. I was tired of this garbage. Well, apparently Jared overheard this fit of rage and knew exactly what to do as well. He hopped on Amazon, being all sneaky and finding a lovely Mother's Day gift, and ordered me a ball winder as well. They both came on the same day, and he won. He definitely won. I tend to purchase the cheaper option of things, and Jared never does that. He always finds the best that he thinks is the best and purchases that instead. So this is the one that he got me. Yeah, it's amazing. I have used it. I have used it many times to cake and recake cakes that I've already caked because I love it so much and it makes such beautiful cakes, and it's all caught up. So I'm not going to show you how it works because you all know how a ball winder works, but this is the one that he got me. It is the Larch, I can't even remember what it's called, Stanwood Needlecraft, the Larch bobbin whatever ball winder, and it's magical. The clamp is, okay, the things that I love about it are the clamp is built in. The old one that I had, it's slotted into the bottom of the ball winder and then clamped it to a table. This one is built right into it. The other thing that I love about it is that it has two guides, I guess. My other one only had one. So the tension on the yarn when it goes around the bobbin is much better. It is glorious to crank. What else do I love about it? The cakes are incredible that come off of it. This is one of the cakes that comes off of it. I've never seen a more beautiful cake in my entire life. Where's the camera? There it is. So there was a couple projects that I had that I was working on, and the cakes were like the old cakes from my old ball winder, and they're just messes, right? Like there's yarn pukes everywhere and huge amount of frustration. So I just rewound all those because I could, and I had this to do it on, and it's magical. I don't really understand why, but Jared was saying that it's like, I can't remember what he called it, the multi-directional thing. The bobbin spins one direction, but then the ball winder, or this guide, spins in the opposite direction. So I really don't know what that does other than make amazingly beautiful yarn cakes. So this one was about 3 times as much as the one that I had ordered for myself. So it is pricey, but honestly, I think just save your money for longer and invest in one of these because it's life-changing how awesome it is. And see, I just can't stop cranking it. It's so much fun. And it makes the most beautiful yarn cakes in the world. So my husband listens to me sometimes, and he spoils me a lot. So the other one that I ordered, I did not send it back. I sent it to Kate because she has been not justifying a ball winder for a very long time. So I thought I'd send her that one. Sorry, Kate, I sent you my reject. I hope it's good. I don't really know, but so now Kate has a ball winder. I have a new ball winder. There's no more fits of rage, and things are much more calm. The other thing that he got me is he got me a Swift as well. I had another Swift, but it's one of those metal framed ones, and it's annoying, and it always catches the yarn like on the bottoms of where they all. It's like one of those umbrella ones, and it works fine, but it's not the best. So he got me one of the wood ones that just sort of like clicks together, and then the arms click together on top. I don't understand why you keep stopping recording, but you're annoying me. So it sits on the table and spins and then attaches to that ball winder, and it's all just happy and magical times for all. So that was an amazing surprise. The wind is back. I hope this episode hasn't just been all wind. Thanks for hanging out today. I appreciate it. I hope I've entertained you, and I'll see you next time. Love you all. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Mwah. Big kiss.